Join me live on this thing. Let's guest. Ooh la la. Okay, your channel. Live now. This is live now. All right, this is us. Okay. There is a serious delay. This is good to know. So I send in the host chat the new link. Would you mind sharing that in the chat with our with the people?
So it's not going to be the same link they're at?
No.
Wow, send that in Slack. I physically can't copy it. I can't highlight it in this chat. It literally won't let me highlight it.
Okay. Trying to figure this out, people.
Okay, the public chat's coming in.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this on Facebook too, just so people, if anybody saw us there.
All right, so that one's not working. Where I posted that link in the chat.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, okay. So here we are live.
Yep. All right. Sorry, people.
It's real.
I can see that people are slowly starting to find us. Sorry about that. This is first time for us too. So yeah, we tried scheduling this. We tried doing the right way, but apparently not happening. Hello, everyone. Just come say hi in the chat. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. We tried to do the other link. It was not working. So we'll moving over to here. I'll post this in the comments too. So hopefully people will find us. All right. In the meantime, are you guys excited? The time. So for us, I am in Lisbon. For me, it's 5 p.m. Colin, where are you?
Yeah, I'm in Austin, Texas. So it is 11:05 a.m. for me here.
All right. Can you just tell me, are you guys hearing us correctly? How's the sound? How's the camera? All right. Yes. Seems like people can hear us. Cool. So what we will be doing today is basically, I'm starting a podcast and I needed to build a website for my podcast. And I thought, why not use this opportunity to show you guys exactly how I go about this and how you can build your own personal branding website from scratch. Now, Colin is here with me. He's gonna check the, the stream because, oh, my camera is blurry. Okay, maybe it sometimes gets blurry. Sorry about that. Colin will be checking the comments. So I will be commenting what I'm doing on the screen. So I will be sharing my screen. And then from time to time, I will check in with the questions and see if there is something that you guys don't understand. Now, the way we will go about this. So first of all, I'm starting from a completely new install. So I don't even have the Thrive tools installed yet. I'll be starting from there. And then we'll go through setting up the website through the setup wizard, connecting the different accounts. So the API connection with an email provider, the social media accounts, the smart site settings, and so on, so that you can see how to do that. And then we'll go personalize the homepage, personalize contact page, about page, confirmation page, and so on. Now, I really don't know how long this is going to take. I think probably, I'm guessing like an hour or something, if all goes well, which would be pretty impressive, don't you think? Like building this whole website in 1 hour.
That's very good. Yeah, from blank slate to finished website.
Yeah, that is the goal. Now, if we go a bit longer, I'll just continue going, and then there will be a recording. So normally this is a YouTube live stream, so it should be available on this link. And yeah, the one thing that I already prepared is some copy, a logo, and so on, so that you don't have to see me typing stuff. But that's it. So are you guys excited to get started? Just also give us some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because we always release new tutorials. So YouTube is a good way to follow us. And then, yeah, if you're ready, Colin, I will go to the sharing the screen.
Yeah, let's get into it. And quick thing here for everyone who is listening and in the chat, I will be able to respond and talk in the chat. However, you won't be able to hear me with the software we're using. You'll only be able to hear Hannah while she's building the site with her screen showing. But if you have any questions specific about the tools, theme builder, things that come up, feel free to ask in the chat, and we will maybe save some time at the end for Q&A, or we can make sure to address the question if we find it important. So that's all I have.
Also, I'll probably repeat this a couple of times. You will see the tools that I install, but we will be using Theme Builder, Shapeshift, Architect, Quiz Builder, Commons. So basically, we will be using all of the Thrive themes tools, because I think it is important for you guys to see how I would set up a website. And when I'm setting up a website, I use all the tools because they are made to work together. So yeah, that's what will be going on here.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right. All right, so now you guys should be able to see me in the little corner over here, and then the screen is hopefully showing on there. So from now on, I am looking at my screen, so I won't be able to see your comments anymore, but Colin is there, so go ahead and ask along. Now, the products, the only thing I already installed is the Thrive Product Manager, because that's not very important to see how to install that. I connected it to the account. So from here, I can install everything. Now, the website that we will be looking at is called wellbalancedsuccess.com, because that's the name of my new podcast, Well Balanced Success. And as you can see, this is still the very basic WordPress install. I didn't do anything yet. So let's go ahead. I will install Quiz Builder, Architect, Thrive Commons, Thrive Leads. I'm not sure I'll be showing that today. And then also the Theme Builder with Shapeshift. So for that, I can just install Shapeshift. So let's select and install these products. Now, for people who are not familiar with the tools yet, so Thrive Theme Builder is our theme builder where you can really build any WordPress theme from scratch. And we have the accompany team that's called Shapeshift, which is already pre-designed by our designers to make it super easy for you so that you don't have to start from scratch. So you will be using Shapeshift, and in just a few seconds, I will already be able to show you how much this changed the website. All right. So now let's reload our website. As you can see, this already changed completely, right? Because now we installed the Shapeshift theme and theme builder, and this made sure that we had this new theme on our website. It activated it immediately. So this is very important. If you install Thrive Themes and Thrive Theme Builder and Shapeshift on a new website, it will automatically activate the theme. Now, if you don't want that because you're still working on it, you can go into your theme, so appearances, themes, and as you can see here, the active theme is Thrive Theme Builder, but you can go back to your old theme and won't change anything. But that is also why, if you are switching over a website, please always use a staging website to make sure that you do your changes on a staging website first, and then you can move over to a live website. Now, here we have the Thrive dashboard, and this is where you can find Thrive Theme Builder, or this is more where you can find the wizard, the site setup wizard for Thrive Theme Builder. Now, there's one thing that I will do first is go into my settings, and in the general settings, I will change the site title and the tagline. So here, the site title is Well Balanced Success Podcast. And then the tagline, weekly on how to achieve well to our site setup wizard, shall we? So this is where Thrive Theme Builder and Shapeshift are completely different from any theme that you've used before. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to go from a blank WordPress install to having your site set up the way you want it. And as you can see in this site wizard, there are a couple of steps that will help you go through the different elements of your website. Now, what I did is I prepared a document with some information. So for example, here I have a light logo and a dark logo that I will be using. I also have the colors, so the hex color of the blue that I will be using for my website, because I already decided on what my logo would look like, what the colors would look like, and so on. Because I don't think that's the most important thing to show here, because it will be different for everybody anyway. So I have my brand guides that I can open, and then the website, that's already the copy that I wrote for the website. So I did do some preparation for the website, but as you can see, I did not install anything yet. So we'll be starting from scratch right there. So let's go into our site wizard and let's get started. Now, the first thing that you want to do is upload your logo. So in this case, I have both of my logos already downloaded, I believe. So in my downloads, I have the light version and the dark version. And for the moment, I will just upload the dark version. Let's select this and continue. Now, my brand color is this bright, very nice bright blue. And I will click on here and add this code in here. So as you can see, it's a different blue than what it originally was. And I will continue with this. Now, what's really cool, as you can see, is that already my logo is shown here in the header, and this call to action, I don't know if you realize, but that is the blue that I just selected. So everything in this wizard will already use my logo, will already use the brand color, which gives me a really good view of what my website will look like. Now, from here, I will go into the menu and see which header I like. Now, you can still change anything in this header. So what I suggest at this point is basically choose a header that's closest to what you imagine your header to look like. So look at where the logo is, for example. Do you want the logo in the center? Do you want it left, right? Do you want social media buttons in your header? Yes or no? That kind of stuff, because afterwards you can still change. If our designers already did the work, it's much easier, right? So I will go with this, this simple, and I will show you how to change it because, for example, I don't really like this border around it. So that is definitely something that I will change. Now, once you are happy, you pick the header that you like, just choose and continue. So for the footer, same idea. Let's just go in and pick a footer that we like. As you can see, you can have a contact form in there. You can have a lead generation, or you can just go with a very simple footer, which is what I will do for now. The next step, and this is a very big one, is your homepage. So Shapeshift comes with pre-designed homepages, and these are not just any homepages. These are homepages that we designed with conversions in mind. So each one of these templates, which I will show you right now, is really made for a specific type of business. So you can choose from these ready-made homepages. You can show one of your existing pages. So if you already created a homepage, then you can show one of those, or you can display your blog as the homepage of your website. Now, honestly, 99% of the time, we will not suggest you show your blog list, because you want to make sure that your homepage immediately captures the attention, grabs people in, and make sure that they know why they are there, what they will get from your website, and so on. So that is why having a really nicely designed landing page is a way better way to go with your homepage. So here, this is the local business focused one. As you can see, this is very nicely designed. And like I said, everything here is with a local business in mind. Now, there are other designs that are available for you here. And the one that I will be choosing is the personal branding one, because this is a personal branding website. But again, we'll make some tweaks on that homepage to make sure that it looks unique and that it really fits my purpose for this podcast website. So let's go with the personal branding one. I want to get your attention on something, because can you see that this is again using the brand color that I selected earlier? If I had picked an orange, this whole page would already be adapted and would already be orange. So that is why choosing that brand color really helps you with setting up your full website super, super quickly. So for now, don't worry about any text, any details, just pick the homepage that you like most, and then let's choose and continue. Now, for the single blog post, so don't forget, you are creating your theme here. So you want to keep in mind that the template that you're choosing here is the way that each one of your blog posts will be shown by default, because you're only selecting the default blog post template here. So we have different layouts here. So we have narrow featured images, we have split, like this one, like with a split top, with a sidebar, without a sidebar, boxed, not boxed. So the way I would go about this to pick the one that is best for you is just think about your featured image. Just think about like the above the fold, like how do you want that to look? Do you want your title to be on top of the image, or do you want your title to be under the image? Do you want like half of the heading section to be the image or not? And then you can find one of the designs here that is closest to what you're looking for. Now, one more time, and you will be hearing this a lot in this tutorial, but that's because it's true. You can still change anything to make it look exactly the way you want to, but you don't have to, because you can already select something that you really like. So in this case, let's go with our with our default one here. So this is like this big featured image with the title on top of it. Let's choose and continue. Now we go to our blog post. So this is your website.com/blog, and this will be the page where all of your different blog posts are shown. Now, you probably know that there are different ways of layout. So you can have a grid layout, you can have a list layout, or you can have a masonry layout. A masonry layout, if you don't know exactly what that is, think about Pinterest. The way the images are shown in like the Pinterest layout. That's the masonry layout. And so here you can see, do you want a grid, a list layout, or if you go down here, the masonry layout. Up to you, completely up to you. Now, for my website, because I know that the featured image of the blog post, which is actually going to be the podcast, is going to be the same featured image or very, very similar featured image. It's not very useful to have like a big image and then the text. So that's why I will pick this list layout for my blog post, and then you guessed it, I will make some changes to it. Now you can also see that we have this top section that is shown here, but again, this is something that we can adjust completely. And then step 8, our pages. So this will be our standard pages, our contact page, or our about page, the normal pages that we have on our website. And for now, I will probably just go, because I have a dark header. I will go with this blank page. Yeah, let's just go with this blank version. All right. Now, because I will probably be using a custom menu rather than a WordPress menu, I won't be setting up any menus. But if you have a WordPress menu set up, you can simply select it here, and then that will automatically go into your header. But I prefer a custom menu because it's just much more flexible, and that means I can do everything on the front end of the website, which is just my preference. So that's why I will continue without choosing a menu. And that's it. This is already our website set up. So let me show you what happened now. So from this install, we went to this version, where we have our own logo, our colors. We have this really nicely designed homepage that we will be able to adjust. And then when we go to /blog, we have a blog setup here that we will have to change. But this is already the homepage of your website. So if you just want a very simple one-page website, you can now start editing this, right? All right, before I stop doing any changes, I will go through the other tabs here, or the branding and typography tab, because like I said, I have a dark and a light logo for my website. So I will add the light version here, because automatically you can see that it copied the dark and the light version, but we'll just have a light version here. This is good if you use, for example, a dark footer, and then you want to have your logo in the dark footer, or in like here in my case, I'll probably use the light logo on the blue footer there. So here is also where you can set up a favicon. It's not something that I'll be doing right now because I didn't prepare it. So here, and this is our typography set. So for this one, I will edit it, and I have in because I already picked another font that I really like. So for that, I can select all the headings, and this is a Google Fonts, and it's the Barlow Condensed is the one that I like, 300 and then 600, and we'll include the italic version, so apply. And then I do not want my headings to be bold, so I unbolded. As you can see, all the headings changed here. If you want to change your text, you would do it in exactly the same way. So you can just select, use the breadcrumbs here to select all text, and then you can see in our case this is Muli as the font. This is actually the font I want to use. You can also change the hyperlinks, the quote, the blog quote, and so on. And you can do this for tablet and mobile. So you can immediately check what would these different font sizes look on the different on the different screen sizes. So let's save this. All right, I'll go back now, see how we are doing with our questions. So I can see that Colin has been answering questions here. Let me see. All right. It's really, really hard to keep up with the questions. So I'll keep going, and then we'll see if at some point we'll have to switch over to the other version. Okay, so now that I set up the website, I set up the branding, I set up the typography, one thing that I will do is go into our Thrive Themes dashboard, into the dashboard right here. And from here, I will go into API connections, and I will also go into smart sites. So let's start with the API connection. Now, the reason that I want to add an API connection before doing anything else is because then I will be it will be very easy to just connect the lead generation forms and so on. So add a new connection. I use ActiveCampaign for this. And I already copied my API key and right here. If you need any help with that, we have videos on where to find that API key and so on. But now this is it. This is how easy it is to connect your to connect an API connection with Thrive Themes. So now this is done for all the different tools, and you will be able to connect all your opt-in forms with this. Now let's go back to our dashboard. And from here, go to Smart Site. Now, Smart Site and global fields is something that will be really, really helpful to keep your website up to date. So in the beginning, you might not really see why you would add links here instead of on your website. But the moment that you want to change your email address, or that you want to change your telephone number or anything like that, you will be extremely happy that you used a global field. Now, these are also the global fields that are used in the templates in Thrive Theme Builder. So if you see somewhere an email address in one of the templates, it will automatically take this from the global fields, and you won't have to do anything for that to happen. So in my case, I only have an Instagram account. So that's the only one I will be adding. And then I will also set up podcast links, because this is the podcasting website. So for me, having those links all centrally in one place will be much easier than having to add these URLs several times. So I will add a new field group, and I will call this podcast. And then from here, I will add links. So our first one, so the first one would be Stitcher. And then our link URL. Right. Now I can add links here, hopefully. Okay, I need to add it through here. So in our podcast, another link. So iTunes. So I'll repeat this for the different services. So Google Play. So there was an extra space after the URL apparently, so that's why it was first not valid. And Spotify is the last one. All right. So now I added these different fields to the global fields, and I will be able to use these on the website. The next step, what I will be doing is adding some pages on. Oh, wait, I still have to add one other thing in our dashboard, and that is our analytics code. So the Google Analytics code should go in our head, so we can add a new one here and then add the script. So this automatically will see that it's Google Analytics, and I want it to be inserted in both my themes and landing pages because I want all the pages on my website to track. All right, so at this point, I have the structure of the website. I have a homepage that I can start customizing. I added the API connection for an email marketing subscription, or an email marketing service, rather. I added Google Analytics. I added the smart sites so that I can easily use those links. So now it's time to create some pages, some blog posts, and then we will be able to change the design of the defaults that we have on the website. Now, I will try to check in with you guys again. All right, I see people are asking about loading time. So we have, and you might have seen that in in the Team Builder dashboard, you can see that there is something that is called site speed. So what we did is we integrate with a caching plugin, and we integrate with an email optimization service, because those are the two things that will make, together with your hosting, the biggest difference on the speed of your website. So the thing is, when you're building your website, you should absolutely not activate this. So please don't activate your caching while you're working on your website, and your image optimization, you don't have to do that yet. And to be fair, I didn't create the accounts right now, so I probably won't be doing it here in the tutorial, but we have a video that explains exactly how to do that. And you can do it once your website is completely set up. The last thing you want to do is add the caching, add the image optimization. Now, the reason that you don't want to do that while you're building the website is because activating caching means that there is a version of your website that is kept in memory, and then it's served from memory to your visitors. So if you do that while you're constantly making changes on your website, it will result in you seeing something in the Thrive themes editor and then not seeing it on your live website, and you won't understand what's going on, and you will feel like the tool is broken, which is not true. It's just that you see a version that had been saved before, and in order to review that version, you would need to empty caching and empty your browser caching and so on. So that is why I don't suggest that doing while you're building the website. But once you do have your website and you're happy with it, then make sure to activate the caching, activate the image optimization, which we use Optimal for, and then you will see that this will really help the site speed. All right, so let's go to our pages. So we can see that in the wizard, automatically a page was created that's called blog. So this is the page that shows our blog posts. This contact us page must be something that was already on the website, and this one also. So these two are two pages that I do not want. So move to trash. And then we have the generated homepage, which is our front page. Now, one thing that we do want to do is change this to not say generated homepage. It's not really nice as the title. So when we edit this, we can just call this home, for example. All right, let's update this. All right, so we have our blog page and our homepage. Now, this is a fairly simple website. So the pages that I want to have is a contact page. So contact. And I'm just immediately going to publish it because it will be finished by the end of this tutorial anyway. You could put it in draft if you didn't want to publish it yet, but it's easier because then I can much easier link to it, because then it gets found in the search. So contact and then about. All right. And I will also make a confirmation page because I will need this confirmation page to set up my email marketing service. So let's publish this too. Now, as you can see, I have not changed anything on the content of this of these pages yet. We will get back to that once we did our homepage, because that's the most important one right now. And in order to make it easier to see what's going on in the blog post, I will also create some blog posts. So not this one. So these are blog posts that get added automatically if like this website is on SiteGround. So they added this blog post automatically. So I can just delete it. But so first title of the first blog post. I already have this one here. Our title. This is the first episode of the podcast. And because this will be a podcasting website, I will actually only use the audio format. Now, the difference with this is that I can add here a URL for the audio. So don't get too mixed up with that. If you have a normal blog post, all the rest of what I explain will basically be the same, except that you will make sure that you edit the default blog post rather than the default audio blog post template. So let's also add our featured image here. This one, let's see, can I download this? Yes. So this is my featured image. And the reason that I'm already preparing this is because now when I will be making the template, I can actually see in the template immediately how the real blog post will look. So featured image, title, and then we added the audio file. And and made it here an audio. And then I will also already add a category. So this one is in the career category. So add a new category. All right. I can publish this blog post. Now, for the content of the blog post, I'm used to using Thrive Architect. So you could start typing here, but you won't be able to do all the cool things that I will show you. So yeah, it's you could use Gutenberg. It's not gonna interfere with your website or anything. But once you start using Thrive Architect, I'm pretty sure that you won't want to use the block editor anymore. So that is why the only thing I did was add the title, and now I'm actually going to add the content through Thrive Architect. Now, as you can see, this is the way it looks right now. So the featured image is this full width image, and then we have the title here, the featured audio, and then the category is shown here, and we have a sidebar. Now, all of these are things that I actually am gonna change, but first I want to add some content so that we see what we're doing. So when I take content from a Google Doc or somewhere else, honestly, I just usually write this immediately in Thrive Architect. But if you are used to typing in Google Docs or something like that, the best way to then transfer it to Architect, and the way to make it as easy as possible, is to use Control-Shift-V. So that will actually take away any formatting from the Google Doc, so that then you can add your formatting really easily and it won't mess up anything. So that's the way I found is easiest to so yeah, that's the way it's easiest, in my opinion, to copy from a doc to Architect. Now, this is the introduction for the podcast. I'll also add a more tag, so a read more tag. This will allow to have the excerpt. So in the list, this will make the excerpt, and I actually want this here. Let me see. So this is the introduction. Then we have the read more tag, and then you will love this episode if. So this is giving people a reason to listen to the episode. And then I will use a toggle element because I want to add the transcription of the episode in here. So I only need one toggle, and I want this to only be one column. And then let's edit this. So this, I will call it automatic transcription, just to make sure that people know that this is, that this is done by a machine, so that it might not be 100% perfect. So I have the transcription here, which, by the way, is, I use this service, which is called otter.ai, and it does a really, really good job at transcribing. So again, let's use our Shift-Control-V. So this now put the whole transcription of the episode within this toggle element, and then I can collapse it. Done. So as you can see, what I did to add, to use the toggle element is I used this edit toggle items. So for any item in Theme Builder or in Architect that is a little bit more complex, you can have this edit menu here. So for a lead generation form, for example, you will have it, or for a contact form, or so on, because it allows you to then go into edit mode for only that element, and to have here the options for only that element. Now, after that, I still have some, because I want people to leave a comment. So I'm going to ask them to leave a comment there. And this one, let's discuss. We'll make that a heading too. All right, perfect. So now this is the content of the blog post, and I will be able to change the design. All right. How are we doing on comments? The more tag will not show, like that is only, the more tag is only shown in the editor. On the normal preview, let me quickly preview this for you. You will not see a more tag, like it's not there. So that is just in the editing mode. This more thing, you won't see it on the back end, on the front end, sorry, of your website. The transcription tool. So this is Otter.ai. All right. Okay, so for I see that there is a discussion about the text element and the text element inside of content boxes. I think you absolutely do not need to put a text element in a content box. That is only if you want to have more like complex layouts, but for a blog. For a blog layout or a normal page, you would not put your text inside a content element. This will look good on mobile, as you can see. Like this is the tablet view. This is the mobile view. So as you can see, the toggle element looks good. The text element looks good because we set up the fonts in the right way, and because the template is built in the right way, you absolutely do not need to use a content box. Just to be very clear about that. This is something that a lot of people are still doing, because at the time with Content Builder, that was something that you had to add a lot of boxes around everything. With Thrive Architect, with Theme Builder, you do not have to do that. All right, so now we can get to the fun stuff. So first, let's go to our homepage, shall we? Now, there are different ways to go to your homepage, and there are different ways to edit your homepage. And I'll quickly show some of the different ways. So did I not save this? Okay, let's just make sure I saved the work. Rather hit one too many times save than not enough. So here, this is our current homepage. So as you can see in the bar here, it says edit with Thrive Architect. So this means that you can edit the content. Anytime that you see edit with Architect, it means you're editing the content of a page. And anytime that you see edit Thrive Theme Builder or edit with Theme Builder, it means that you're editing the template that is around the content. Now, because your homepage is a special standalone page on your website, it's actually a landing page that just takes your header and your footer from the theme. You can edit it with Architect. So this is one way. Just go to your homepage and then hit this Edit with Thrive Architect button. Another way, I can close this one too. Another way is go to your pages, and then here, go to your homepage, and from here, edit with Thrive Architect. Now, this one you will always have to edit with Thrive Architect, by the way. And then the last possible way to get to your homepage is in the templates, which is something that you will get more familiar with later. I'm just going to close some of these tabs that we don't need anymore. You can see here that in your templates, you have your active homepage, and you can edit this landing page. All three of these different things will get you to the exact same point to edit your homepage. So yeah, let's hit this button then. So now we are inside of the Thrive editor and Thrive Architect, and we can edit this whole page. Now, if you're not familiar yet with the Thrive Themes tools, you will see that everything is front-end editable. Nothing of this is Photoshop or can't be edited or so on. Everything is from front-end editable. Maybe let's start with this header, shall we? Now, in this case, I'm editing the header for the complete website, not just for the homepage. So what I'll do is click on this header and then click on Edit Header. From there, I can just start editing. So like I already said, I don't particularly like this border, which is around the columns. Now, the best way to know what you're editing or to click on the right element is always to use these breadcrumbs. So you'll see when you click on something like this logo, it's in a column, it's in a columns element, and then you can see this goes around all of it. So the borders, I don't want a border around this. And I'm also not particularly a fan of having this white box on the logo. So in this case, I think the column, it has a background color. So in the background style, I'll put this to transparent, which takes away the color. And then this logo, I'll switch to the light logo. So that is why I uploaded the dark and the light logo before in the branding, because now that makes it super easy to switch to the other logo. I also want this logo to actually be outlined on the side. And I do not want this padding. So that's just particularity for me. I like my logo to be completely to the side. Then for our menu. So because I decided to use a custom menu for the website rather than a WordPress menu, I can just edit the menu elements right here. That's one of the reasons why I like it so much. So make sure to select the custom menu, and then here in menu items, I will only have a couple of them. So I will have podcasts. So this will go to my blog page, actually. So to the blog list. Then I will also have contact. And I can search here for contact. So that's the reason why I created these pages and I already published them, because then I can just very quickly use the search function. I don't have to copy paste URLs. I'm sure that I won't make a mistake there. Contact, and you can see here like the updates immediately, right? So that's just cool. Let's also put a capital letter on contact. And about. All right. And the other menu items, for the moment, I don't need them. I might at some point add a call to action to this menu, but for the moment, I don't really have one yet. So that's it. Let's be done with this. So again, as you noticed, I had like this salmon color around the header, which meant that I'm in editing mode for only the header. And now we can go on to use the home page. The way that this works is really, really cool because first of all, as you can see, this is really nicely pre-designed, already uses the colors. But we also know that you probably want to change some stuff on the homepage. I know I want to do that when I work on my own website. There's always something that we kind of want to change. And that is why you can see that there is this plus button that says blocks. Now, when you click on this plus blocks button, you can see that you have page blocks and content blocks, and in this case, what we want is the page blocks. So this will allow you to very, very easily add pre-designed elements to your homepage. And that is what I will be using now to create the full website the way I want it to. So first of all, I don't have logos, so I'll just delete these logos. And I also still have this notification. And you might have noticed that I collapse this panel and expand it. Now, the reason I do that is just because it makes it very, very easy to see exactly how this will look on the real screen without having to go to preview. So yeah, you can use this to expand or collapse what you want. So let's get started. I did prepare the copy for this. If you want help with this, we do have a bunch of tutorials on how to write good copy and so on. I think we might even have a Thrive University course for that. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you tell people why they are on your website, whom this website is for, and you make sure that that the right people would keep reading. So let's upload. Now, I don't want this opt-in form here, so I'm just going to delete that. And then there's a little bit too much space, in my opinion. So 10. Now, again, one of the things that I always suggest you do is when you click on something, look in the breadcrumbs to see what you are editing and where that element is on the page. So this is a text, which is a heading 1, which is exactly what we want for the first most important title on our website. And then it's in a column, inside a columns element, inside the background section. So if I want more space underneath this picture, for example, what I will do is go to the background section, and then from there, I'm adding spacing to this background section. And actually, I'm going to add 60 because then it evens out with the top of this element and the bottom of this element. Now, the next thing that I want on this website is actually some more text. So for this, I do like this 4-column layout, but it's not yet what I want to have on my homepage. I first want to communicate a bit clearer about the goal of the podcast and the goal of this website. So I'll use a block for that. And as you can see here, we have text and content blocks, which makes it super easy to already have these pre-designed blocks available for you. Now, you don't have to use one of these. You can simply use elements from the sidebar and start dropping text on there. But there are some huge advantages, mainly that our designers know much better what they are doing than I do. So that's why I trust that they know the right spacing and that it's already optimized for mobile and so on. So I don't have to worry about that. And also, as you can see, these blocks immediately use the color of your website. So it's just such an easy way to build a really nice looking website. And then you can still change. Like, for example, I'm not a super big fan of this background color. So I can select this block, go into the background style, and actually like unlink this and make it completely transparent. Now, the reason that I unlinked this is because it was linked to one of the website colors. And in order to be able to change it for just this element, I can just unlink this block from my website colors. And then that makes that I can change anything I want. I can give it any color I want. So let me copy paste some more. And then after this block, so this is what happens when you don't use the Control Shift V. So let me go back. I use Control Z to go back, and now I'll paste it with the Control Shift V so that it doesn't take the formatting from the Google Doc, but it takes the formatting from my element. All right. And let's save this. Okay, so now we went from this to this, where I have my logo. The links are already there. I have my USP, the picture, the first part, and I'll continue to work on this homepage. Now, let me quickly check how you guys are doing with the questions. All right. Seems like Colin is pretty much on top of answering to your questions. So I'll just continue building my homepage. And I hope that that is useful for you guys to see. So where were we? Okay. The next block, I actually do want to use this really nice block, and I'll show you some really cool stuff with the logos. Now this, I actually want this to be a heading 2. So as you can see, because I set up the fonts on the theme level, now I can just very easily add these to my landing page, to the homepage, and it will automatically take the fonts that I set up. It just makes it super easy to make sure to stay consistent with that. I almost feel like putting on some music. All right, so what I wanted to show you here is these icons. So like I said, everything in Thrive Theme Builder, we make sure that you can change them yourself. It's something that I've been so frustrated with, looking at other themes and at other landing page builders and so on, is that they add an icon here, but it's not actually an icon, it's actually like an image, and it fits perfectly with the landing page. But then the moment that you add your own colors, you don't have this available anymore. So it's, for us at Thrive Themes, it's just super important that everything that you see on the page can be edited, and you can do it without using Photoshop and so on. So for example, these are icons. When you click on it, you can see that in the main options here, you can change the icon. And I'm a very big fan of our duotone icons. I just think they look really, really nice. And I already went through them, and I found this business icon, which fits my purpose. So I can add it. And as you can see now, it became like this duotone icon, and it uses the color of my website, which is just really cool. And if you want to change the style, you can change it. Yeah, change the style. You can just very easily add, like, make it a round icon and so on. So we made it as easy as possible for you guys to have a website that really looks good without ever needing any image editing tool. All right, let's change this one. So again, I'm going to go to duotone. And then, now if you're a bit frustrated that you can't find the icons as quickly as I can now, don't worry. I did not know the names of these icons by heart. I definitely just scrolled through them, and I looked at something that I thought was useful. Because, for example, for this one, I wanted a heart, and in case it wasn't logical, if you type heart, you won't find anything. But if you type favorite, you actually find a heart icon. So sometimes, and this is not our choice, this is actually how these icons are labeled, so we can't do much about it. But yeah, just take a little time, go through the different icons, scroll through them, and then I'm sure like there are thousands of them, so you will be able to find whatever you feel fits your purpose. And all right. Okay, so this is this cool looking 4-column layout. Now, at the moment, because this is a new website, I'm not gonna link these columns to anything, so they aren't like buttons or something. But at some point in the future, when I have more podcasts published, then I'll probably link each one of these to a category of the podcast. So that's my thinking right now, but I'm not gonna do that yet. Then I do like the idea of showing the latest podcast episodes, but I don't like this layout all that much. So I'm going to go back into the blocks, choose our list. No, sorry, our articles. Here, articles. Because if you go to articles, it means that it will pull the blog articles from your website. So that's why this blog is called articles. And the one that I like is, again, this one with the simple list rather than having the featured images, for the same reason as I said for the blog list, because I won't have nice looking featured images anyway. So yeah, it's better to have a list for this. So we want to say discover our latest podcast episode. And in this, you can see, or maybe you can't see, but when you click on this image and it actually selects the column, this means that this image is used as the background image in a column element rather than using a separate image element. Now, this can be very helpful because it will stretch the image to the size of the column. Now, in the case of what I'm trying to do here, I actually want to show the artwork of my podcast. So I don't want it to be dependent on how big the column is. So what I'll do is I'll simply delete the background style for this column. As you can see, it actually is an image, and then it has a little overlay. So again, this is something that you can do in Theme Builder, right? You can have like this normal image, and then you can add like a bluish overlay so that it fits your website. But yeah, I'm not going to do that right now, but I am going to add a new image in there. So I'm simply using the elements now rather than the blocks to add this image, and I'll need to upload the file. And this is this one. Ooh, 3000. Okay, this is a really big image. I'm going to make sure to not load the full image, because as you can see, this image is actually 2560 pixels. So that's more than a full screen width size. So that's definitely not what I need right here. So you can see that in the size, I can actually decide to show a smaller version. So probably in this case, I would pick the 300 by 300. And then this shows up, which looks much better for what I'm going for here. Now, the one thing that you need to understand is that now that you're loading a 300 pixel image, if you blow it up to 500, it will get blurry. So don't do that. Like here, you can see that now the 300 is 100%. If I wanted to have this image bigger, if I wanted to do, for example, a 500 pixel image, I would have to go to the 1000 pixel and then make it smaller. So in layout and positioning, now I'm actually gonna change this column size a bit. Now, like I said, this is a post list element. What does this mean? This means that each time that I will publish a new article on this website, so in this case, a new podcast episode on this website, it will automatically update this on the homepage. So that's really cool because I can very easily have the latest episodes on the podcast on the homepage, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Now, if you say that, for example, at some point, maybe I don't want my latest episodes to show here anymore. Maybe I want my best episodes to show on my homepage. That makes sense, right? Then I can use this post list and I can actually filter the posts. So I can say I want to filter the posts and, for example, use categories, or I can have a category that I call best, for example, and then I could show only posts from in that category. So this is a way to very easily make sure that on your homepage you have your best content. And you can have more than one of these lists, so that also makes for very dynamic content. Now here, as you can see, at the moment, the way this list is filtered is on the date published, descending, so it will go from the from the latest to from the newest published to the oldest one, and it will show 3 articles. If you want more, you can have more. But yeah, this is how you can filter the list. And then again, because this is a fairly complex element, you have an edit design button. So let's go into this edit design. And one of the things that I want to do is actually make this title a bit bigger, probably maybe like 24. And the post content, I want to use the excerpt. And I do not necessarily want these little dots. And here too, I'll probably, I think 16 is like kind of the minimum. I also want this bold. All right. Now, each time that I publish a new podcast, that I publish a new article on this website, it will add here, but only up till 3 posts. So yeah, this is a very easy way to keep your homepage up to date. All right, how are we doing on questions? Oh, I just see something. Raphael is saying, I'm really liking the quiz plugin, but you can't change it. So we actually, and I see that Balaz is answering. Thank you, Balaz, for that. So yeah, we just released question editing. So if you use the minimalist template, and I actually, I hope I will be able to show it here. But if you use the minimalist template, then you will be able to show the change the questions. You can now add the colors. All right, I'm seeing that we're already we're already at 6:15. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna speed this up a little. All right, so I don't need this blog anymore because I already have a Discover the Communication Skills blog. I don't need this about me. I actually want a different about me element. So I'm gonna change this, and in the about section, the one I like is this one. So I'll use this one, delete this one, upload. So about the host, and then here change our text again. All right. As you can see, again, when I click on the image, this is a column, so in our background style. Now, in this case, I actually like the fact that it is a background image. I have a different image here. Let's insert this. And now you can see that you can actually drag this along. So that's just really, really nice to use Drive Theme Builder for that. Again, no need for Photoshop. How cool is that? And let's edit some text here. All right, I don't have testimonial, so we're going to delete that. And now for the last element. So this is something that I really want to show you because it's one of the particularities of Thrive Theme Builder. Let me just save my work so that I don't lose it. It is that you have everything marketing related that is already included in the tools. So Thrive Themes is made to make you build a business website. So we might not have all the design bells and whistles, even though we are pretty close. But we have the tools that you need to build an audience and to convert those people into customers. So that is why even in Theme Builder, you will already find things like the lead generation element. And this lead generation element, you can connect it with, I don't know how many API connections we have now, but with like dozens of tools. So you don't need to use a workaround. You don't need to use another plugin. You can just do it from within the Theme Builder, from within Architect. And I'm going to show you now how freaking easy it is to do that. So first of all, I actually created a PDF for my subscribers. So download my well-balanced success tracking template. So this is a PDF that I will give people when they sign up to the list. And all right. So here I'm telling them that if they subscribe to the newsletter, they can immediately download this, this thing. So remember how I connected the API connection to ActiveCampaign? Well, this is where now I can super easily use that. So when I click on this element, you can see it's a lead generation element. And in the main option, so first, I'm actually going to put this to 100%. You'll see why in a second. If I go to the main options, so this is where always, when you look at an element, always click on the main options first. You can see the edit form elements. So that is what we will do in just a second to edit things like the title on the title, the copy on this button. But the most important thing is that here I can very easily add a connection. So in this case, I'll choose from my connections and I have ActiveCampaign set up through API. So now I can simply select it here, choose which list, add a tag if I want to have tags on different opt-in forms. So in this case, I could, for example, say tracking templates, because people actually signed up for the tracking template. And this would add that tag to people who subscribe. Or I could send them to a specific list, or I can do so much with this. But I can also, I do want to ask for a first name. So this is something I like to be able to use a first name in the emails. Now, you might not want that, you might not need that, but I think it's just nice to be able to say, hi, Hannah, how are you doing? So your first name we'll put as the placeholder. I'll make it a required field and let's apply. So now, as you can see, this email, I'll also put your email just to be consistent. So now, as you can see, this field got added underneath it, and that's probably not what you want. So that is where our edit form elements comes in. So let's go in here, take this, simply drag it, and now I'll drop it next to this. That's it. That's how easy I changed this lead generation element. And here I'll change the title to download. Download now. Okay, first your email. Maybe the first name, we can do it a little smaller. I could tweak this, but honestly, it's not necessary. One thing that I do want to show here is what do we want to happen after someone signs up? Because that's the huge advantage of using an API connections, that you can now decide from your website what's happening. So in this case, we want to redirect to a custom URL. That's correct. And I want to call this confirmation. So to the confirmation page that I set up before, remember? And I'm also going to send the form values to the thank you page. Now, What this means is that the first name and the email information will get sent to the confirmation page. And you can see here, it will look something like this. So question mark, name equals value, and email equals value. So, and this one will be important, the name one, okay? I'll show you some cool thing with that after. But that's it. This is now functioning. We have a full homepage. Let's see. So this homepage is now 100% functional. I have the podcast episode here, an opt-in form that's working right here. People will get sent to the active campaign list. So yeah, that's already pretty cool. How are we doing, guys? How are you feeling? Is this like drinking from the water hose? Water hose? Drinking from the hose? Yeah, something like that. Or how are you guys doing? Yeah, these are not. I see there is a discussion about the templates I prepared or something. I'm literally just using Google Docs. It's just me typing in Google Docs, and to be honest, I would. I actually would just type on the page if you guys were not watching all my typing errors. So that is why I actually started. That I actually started doing this in a Google Doc. All right. Yeah, if anybody wants to follow along live, wellbalancedsuccess.com. That's where you can see what's actually going on. This is happening live. This is really happening, guys. So, all right. So we have the homepage. What shall we do first? Let's edit our blog post template, shall we? Because that is very theme builder specific, and I know it's something that people get a little bit messed up with. So as I showed you, at the moment, it looks like this. It does not look very good. I mean, it's not too bad, but because of the way that the featured image has a text on it, it doesn't look good as the background. So the way that I can change this template, there are several ways, again, to do the same thing. So first of all, I can click here and then say edit the theme template, which means that I would be editing the template, not the content of the template, not the content of this blog post. Very, very important. When I edit with Thrive Architect, I would be editing the content, which means everything like the text on this blog post. When I'm editing with Thrive Theme Builder, so when it says edit theme template, it means that I would edit all the way that every one of the blog posts would be shown. So this is a way to do that through the front end of the website, or I can go into my templates, and then you can see that here there are different templates for the default post, default video post, default audio post. Now, like I said, because this is a podcasting website, I will be editing the default audio post, because that's the one I'm using for the different audio posts. But you will be able to do exactly the same thing starting from the default post. Okay, the only thing that will be different is you won't be adding an audio element in there, but that's the only difference. So don't get mixed up. Don't make it more complicated than it is. Just use the default one. Edit the default one. So let's do that now. The default audio post. Edit this one. Now for this, what do they say? Smart artists steal? No, that's I use inspiration. And one of the people that is really big in podcasting is Pat Flynn, the Smart Passive Income podcast. And so I think, like, I looked at a lot of different podcasting websites, and I just really liked the way that his podcast was presented. Now, I'm not going to copy everything completely, but I'm going to use this as inspiration, because why not? We know that this works. So what I'm going to do is in this top section, so let's see. Here, Pat Flynn has like this 2-column layout. On the one hand, there's the title, and then the hosted by, and then on the other hand is the featured image. So I really like this layout. And I'm going to do this on this in the top section. Now, as you can see here, sorry about that. Quickly going to have a sip. Now, as you can see here, the top section is independent from your sidebar. So that is why if you want anything that goes full width on your page, you would use your top section. Then you have your content section where you can have your sidebar, and then we again have a bottom section. I think this, this layout here shows it really, really nicely. Now, a couple of things: you can very easily hide and show certain elements, and that is exactly what we will do with the sidebar, because I do not want to have a sidebar on blog posts. So that's it. Sidebar, no sidebar, sidebar, no sidebar. Sorry, this is fun. So yeah, I'm gonna hide this sidebar, make this content full width. But first of all, let's work on this top section. Now, again, I'm lazy, and if somebody already did the work for me, I'm not going to do the work again. So clicking on the top section, I can choose replace. This will give me a whole library of templates that our designers already made, and that I can just try to find something that is similar, or maybe like there's one that you really, really like. Now, in my case, because I have this very specific thing in mind that I want, I will go with something that is similar. So when I think about this, I want this 2-column layout, and the title, the author, some of those elements. And looking at that, I think that this one is probably the most similar, because as you can see, these are full width images. I do not want that. Here we have like this fancy divider that I don't really need at the moment. So yeah, in our case, I will take this one. Now, even if it doesn't have an audio element, we'll fix that in a second. So I'll go for the featured image 3. All right. Now, because I already published a blog post, I will be able to see exactly what happens on this blog post. Now, if you have multiple blog posts, you can select here in the content dropdown, and that will actually show you different blog posts on your website. Or you can use demo content. Now, the demo content is good if you start from scratch, you have nothing published yet. That will just give you some lorem ipsum, so that can be good. But usually you'll want to look at one of your blog posts. So let's have a look. We have this image, then we have this subscribe now, which I think is really cool for a podcast. So let's go with this. We already have our title, so that looks good. Instead of by, I will call this hosted by. This is a dynamic text, so if I'm the one publishing the blog post, my name will show. If somebody else publishes a blog post, then their name will show. So this is the author name. And as you can see, this is in a content box. So I will select the full content box, which means that I have this author image, and which also is dynamic, and the text, and I'll drag this above the title. And this is the category, which I think, I'll leave it right there at the moment. Now, this column again has this background image, which I don't like. I prefer having a normal image in here. So I'll add I'll just add the image. And actually I can use, okay, I could have used the featured image, which would have been smarter and less steps. Or I can actually, if I select a normal image, I can go to the dynamic source, and then the source will, here I can set the featured image. So that's two ways to go about it. I'll make this a bit smaller, actually, so that it looks a bit better. Probably something like 350. All right, and layout in the middle. Now I want the whole background to have a background color. So in this case, I'll select it. So I select the top sections, the full section, and our background style, and I will add one of the theme colors here. Yeah. Now, this means that if one day I decide to change this theme color, then this will, so if I change from blue to orange, then because this is linked to my theme colors, this will actually change too. Now, I don't know how good you can see it on the screen here, but this column actually has a background color, which I don't want. So I'll just put it on completely transparent. And now, yeah, that already looks pretty good, pretty close to what I wanted. We still have these share buttons. So let's add some text and say share. All right, and then I want social icons, so social share. I'll drop these underneath here and make this icons only. And now I know that a lot of you are waiting for a new social share element, and it is coming. We're so close. It should be in the next release, which means that you will have way more options for different networks and changing the styles and so on. But now, for now, I'll just use the default style. So what I want to do is I want to have these buttons next to the shared text, and I could use column elements, but column elements always act a certain way on mobile. So if you have two elements that you really want to keep next to each other, it's actually better to use some of the advanced layout settings. And in this case, it means adding this as inline, and then also making this element inline. So, all right. And now, come on. Inline. Let's see. With both elements in line, this should jump next to each other. Okay. There seems to be a little glitch here, unfortunately. So I can't show you. I did it before. So both elements, now I'm annoyed by this. Both elements have to be set to inline, and then they should jump. But okay, for now, I'll make sure to fix it later. So yeah, we have our share buttons. Now, one thing that's still missing in here is our audio element, because we have this audio post. And so we want to make sure that for every different audio post, it actually pulls out the right MP3 file, right? So the way to do this is by adding our audio element in here. Let's drop this under our title. And make sure to make this the dynamic audio element, because then it will pull it from our blog post. And now, because I'm using the default audio element, so we will be able to see how this changed now. All right. So because we're using the default audio element here, I will add a content box around it with a background style. So let's make this a white content box actually, and make sure that it's not transparent. If not, we won't see it. All right, and add a little drop shadow around it so that it stands out. And now I want to have our audio element in here. All right, save this. Let's make sure. All right. Okay, so this is now how our blog post looks like, how our audio blog post will look like. So we have this hosted by, then we have the title, we have our audio elements, and then we have a share. Now here I still have share icons. I will delete those, but we don't have a sidebar anymore. Then we have Drive comments that are here. And as you can see, we still have like these tags and posts that I don't particularly like, so we're going to change that right now. But this top section already looks pretty much like what I was going for. Let me just show one of the episodes here, because this is actually the landing page. So as you can see, we have like the title and then the podcast. And here we have this, we still need to have these subscribe now buttons. So the way I will do this is by adding a toggle element. Because I want to have like that effect of the drop down with then the different elements. So in our toggle element, we only want one and then only one button, and we can edit this. Make sure the toggle is selected, edit it, say subscribe. Instead of this icon, we will have like this drop down. All right, and then make it a little smaller. So in our layout, sorry. So our toggle element, and then once we have we're out of edit mode, we can go into our layout and positioning, and we can make the width of the toggle, can make a fixed width, let's say 200, make like this subscribe button, and I want this to overlay with the image. So I'm using the top margin on the toggle element to overlay it with this featured image. And because I know that the featured image is always going to be 350 and that it is this square image, I can actually make this cool looking layout. And then because I like normal numbers, let's make this 45. That's just me. And now we can edit this again, expand, and in here, what we want to do is we want to put our links to our different platforms. So in this case, we would have iTunes, Stitcher, what was again, Spotify, and Google Play. And what we can do, and that is why I added them to the smart list, is in the dynamic links, I can go into our global fields. And then from here, I can select the podcast. And now I can just say, okay, iTunes, insert, do the same for Stitcher, for Spotify, and lastly for Google Play, global fields, podcasts, Google Play. All right. Done. Okay, let's save this. So this now means that if I have to change the URL of one of these podcast platforms, I can very easily do that in the global fields, in the backend of WordPress, rather than having to go into these templates or even like into all the content of my blog posts or whatever, because these are in this central place. So that's really, really cool. So now we have our button here, and these are now linked. How cool is that? Okay, so I think I'm getting pretty close to what I wanted to accomplish here. Now, one thing that I still want to do is in our top section, I actually want to use a fancy divider. So in decorations on the bottom of this, I can use a fancy divider. And then the one that I wanted is like this one. All right. And I'm going to add a little bit of extra margin underneath here, padding, sorry, so that it goes underneath these buttons. All right. How cool is that? Okay, so we went from this full featured image with the title on top of it, with the audio element underneath it, to this completely new layout with the fancy divider, with these subscribe buttons, the share buttons, all of this in just a couple of minutes, right? So I still want to delete this. So this element, again, we can just select. And then in the content area, because there was this element, we can take out the layout. And I do not want to show tags. So this is not an element that I need. So let me just delete these tags. Oops. Now that's not going to show anymore. Same with this. I'm not going to show any related posts, especially not in the beginning, because I don't have I don't have that many posts. So this if you want related posts in your template, then of course you can use that. And it's the exact same thing. It's a list element. You can just select related posts. I'm not going to add a divider. And then here we have our comment section. And then for the bottom section, I really like what Pat is doing here with like the selected episodes and then about the show and another opt-in form. So we can actually do that too. So instead of having this bottom section with a contact form, I can change this up. And because I want different elements in this bottom section, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to delete this contact form and this one too. And I'm going to use blocks to make this bottom section look the way I want it to. And in this case, we're going to use a call to action block. Which one do I like? This one is pretty cool. You can also use our theme blocks, actually. Call to action. Let me see if there's something that I want. I just want like a simple banner with a button, which I'm sure we have something like that, because I found it before. As you can see, we have a lot of these blocks, so you'll be able to find the block that you want here. All right, in the meantime, how are we doing on questions? Are you guys still following with me? Almost. Maybe it was this one that I used. All right, let me quickly check how we're doing on questions here. Oh, right. Okay, people are still following. Quickly gonna have a sip. Oh, okay. So this is exactly the reason why I said not to use caching, because apparently there's the SiteGround caching is set to on, which is why you guys don't see the exact changes that I'm working on. So let me see if I can turn this off for now. All right, let's see if this is any better. So I think I turned off the caching so that you guys should be able to see the exact same thing that I'm seeing on the website. Let's see. Okay, so for me, this is updating. I hope that now for you guys, you can see this too. So I saw a question about, can you do this for a video element? Yes, it works exactly the same for the video element. You would go to video and then dynamic, and then make sure you select the dynamic source. And of course, if you have a normal blog post, then you wouldn't have an audio or video element, but you can still use the exact same method for doing all the changes I did here. Now, I'm gonna stop building out this template. I think that most of you got the gist of how I did this. And if you come back probably in like 2 days, maybe not tonight, but probably like this is my live website, so I'll make sure to finish it. I'll add this bottom section exactly the way I want it to. Because I still want to show you guys how to do the contact page and how to do the about page. So, sorry. Yesterday I was losing my voice and I was getting really upset because I don't want to. I didn't want to have to postpone this. So, the contact page. So what we can do here, because I already created the page, already edited it, we can edit it with Thrive Architect. And now you can choose whether you want to use a normal page, which means that it is going to use your theme builder page template, the default page template, or the one you select, whether you just want to keep your header, your footer, and then start building the rest of the page up, whether you want a completely blank page. So this can be really helpful for certain landing pages, or whether you want to use one of the pre-built landing pages with that comes with Theme Builder has a few of them, but most of them are part of Thrive Architect. Now, let me show you what a normal page looks like at the moment. So because I selected the blank page as the default template, as you can see, this actually looks like a blank page. You can see here in the page, in the template settings, that the blank page is activated. And in the visibility settings, this is actually really helpful. You can show or hide certain sections. So even if your default template has a top section, you can still, on a page-by-page level, decide whether or not you want to use that. So in this case, because this template by default, let me show that. Because the default page template, the one I selected, it was the blank page, it doesn't actually have the top section activated and the bottom section activated by default. So this is the default page. You can edit it. So as you can see here, the top section is hidden and the bottom section is hidden by default. But on this contact page, I could still decide to actually show a top section, show a bottom section. I can build these sections. So you can really still do whatever you want. Now, because this is a simple page that I'm building, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a block. Oh, again, this is my favorite thing now, blocks. And I'm actually going to use one of the theme blocks and in the contact block. And the one I want is like this 2-column contact form layout. So I made a little bit of content for this. Let's chat. And then some more text. As you can see here, we have these icons, and then we actually have some text elements here. Now, the reason that this is empty is because it pulls from the global fields. And if you remember, I didn't actually fill out the phone number and the email and my address because that's not something that I want to show on the website. But if you filled out in your global field this information, it would already show on this page. So if the moment you load that block, it would show your phone number, it would show your address, it would show your email address. So really, really cool. Now, I'm gonna delete this, and I'm actually gonna delete these elements too, because I do not need them on my design. That looks a little bit empty, but it's okay. Now, this form is a contact form that is part of the Thrive Themes tool suite. So again, I did not install another plugin for this. I didn't do anything crazy like that, right? I took a block, inserted it, and now I can very easily adjust this to look the way I want and to do whatever I want it to do. Now, going into full detail on what this contact form element can do would be a little bit too much. Go to our blog. We just released a video on how to do an high converting contact page. And you can see all the details, but you can have things like drop down. So you could ask people like, hey, what are you contacting me about? And have them select that first. You can have GDPR boxes. And then the cool thing is you can very easily connect this form again with the tools that you're already using. Now, because this is a contact form, and I'm not going to add the possibility to subscribe to the newsletter from the contact form, because I don't think that that is why a contact form is there on your website. So I'm just going to say email, and I'm going to send emails from this site. If you know that you will receive a lot of contact forms and that's super important for you, I would suggest connecting an email delivery service. MailChimp has one that's called Mandrill. Postmark is one. There's some other ones, but that is basically an email delivery service. So it means that people will not get added to a list, but it will handle emails, and it will send emails better than your WordPress server. Because what can happen is that these emails will go to spam because that's just how Gmail sees emails from a website. It often goes to spam. So I would suggest you hook this up with an email delivery service. Again, we have more information on that on our knowledge base in case you want to know that. And then you can change the email here, so you can see this will go to me, and then I can just have all the forms. It's very, very straightforward. But now this is connected. So this means that if somebody fills out this contact form, it will actually go to my email. Now, you can also decide what you want to do after somebody had this filled out this contact form. Now, in this case, I'm just going to show a success message and thank you for contacting me. So this means that if somebody subscribes, they will if somebody sends a message on this contact form, it will not go to another page. It will not like reload. It will just show a success message. So that's easy peasy. All right, contact page done. How are we doing? Is the brain fuming? Let me see. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry for people who were late. Don't worry. You can watch this again. The replay should be available. So we have our contact page, and now let's do our about page. So our about page, edit with Thrive Architect. We will see the same message. Because the about page, I want it to be a bit of a special page, so I'm going to go with the blank page with just the header and the footer. And from there, I can simply start adding blocks. Again, that's by far the easiest way to build this about page. Now, for the sake of this tutorial, I think by now you've seen me use blocks. You've seen me copy paste text. You've seen me edit the image elements. So I'm not going to do that again for the about page. I don't think that would add that much to the conversation. So you can just go in here, pick the blocks that you really like. And one thing that I did want to show is that if you find a block that you like, so for example, I really like this block, but the reason that I like this block is for this column element. I can actually select these columns and then simply drag them and just like drag them here below these columns. Oh, sorry. Control Z. I only had this element, so make sure to select the full. All right, all the elements, and then drop them below here. And so now I have this new element with just the columns, right? I don't need to keep the rest of this. So that's also something that you can very easily do. If you see something in a blog that you really like, you can just take that element and it's already pre-designed, and you don't have to do it yourself. So that's just really cool. So for the about page, what I would do is I would continue adding blocks. And if you have trouble writing your about page, we have a Thrive University course that's called the About Page Formula. Shane did a full course on how to write your about page, what should be on your about page, should there be a contact and call to action on there, yes or no, and so on. So as you can see, very easy to just build it with blocks. All right, so how are we doing on our website now? We have our homepage. We have our, there is definitely some caching going on. That's annoying because it looked good. So we have our contact page, we have our about page, we have our home page, we have our featured image page. And the one thing that I still want to change is the podcast overview page. So I'm just gonna, oh. Which in our case is the blog list, basically. Now, at the moment, there's only one blog post, so it's going to be a bit weird to edit the blog list, but still, I want to show you how to do it. So Thrive Theme Builder, go to my templates. And then we can see here the list templates, and so the default blog is the one that you would use, that you would edit. All right. So here you can see that it says company in like these brackets with the exclamation point. So this shows that there is a global field that is used. So if I would have added my company name, which in this case would be Well Balanced Success, then it would say Well Balanced Success blog. But because I didn't fill that out, that's not what it says. Now I'm actually going to use the same copy as on my opt-in form. And we're going to delete that. All right, so now this is a normal title and the same copy as I have on the home page. And because this is another opt-in form, I need to do the exact same thing. So I need to go to Add Connection, choose the active campaign, make sure that the right list is selected, and so on. I would also add the first name here. But it's important that you make sure that each one of your opt-in forms is actually connected and that we send people to the confirmation page. Let's send the values here too. And now, now on this, I also do not want a sidebar, and I'm not going to use this bottom section either. So I'm going to hide this bottom section. So now it's just going to be a very clean list of the latest blog posts that will be shown here, which is exactly what I wanted. All right. And then the last page that we still have is our confirmation page. So how are we doing? Are you guys still good for going on a little bit longer? I would love to show you something with Thrive Quiz Builder, but if you're bored, then then I can wrap it up right here. All right. All right. Seems like you guys are still going on. So then I'll keep going. And okay, perfect. And again, I'm really sorry for people who were on the wrong list. Like, sincerely sorry, on the wrong link. We tried to do it the right way. This is also the first time for us. So yeah. Okay, so the confirmation page. Let's go to Thrive Quiz Builder. What I would like to do on the confirmation page is actually ask people an additional question about what they would like to hear on my podcast. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use Thrive Quiz Builder so that once somebody signed up for the email list and they go to the confirmation page, I can ask them that additional question. So let's build this from scratch. And we'll make this a survey question because so with Thrive Quiz Builder, you can do really cool things where you can send different people to different results pages, and yeah, there's really some cool stuff that you can do there. But because this is more of like a survey where I'm just going to ask one question and then say, hey, thank you for answering, I'm going to use the survey quiz type. Then as a quiz style, I'm going to use the minimalist quiz style because, like I said, we just added this edit design for the quiz style, and that's just, I just think that's really cool because now we can change the color on the quiz questions. So I'll use my brand guide, and I have this bright pink that you might have seen from the featured image. Sorry about that, guys. And so here, this template has like this blue on hover. So instead of using this blue, I'm going to use my bright pink. Now we have this cool pink on hover. So that's exactly what I want to. Let's save this. All right. And then I do not need a splash page. So a splash page is like people first see like, hey, answer this quiz and then start quiz button. Now, in this case, because people just gave me their email, I actually just want them to see the first question. So I'm going to delete the splash page. And then in the questions, I'm going to add a question, and this is going to be an open-ended question. And the question I want to ask is, what's your biggest struggle? What's the one thing you struggle with most when it comes to achieving well-balanced success? And I will let people use a large field. Now this is required because it's the only question that we have. And here I can change the placeholder. So so here I'm prompting people to start the text with "I struggle with ... So it helps people a little bit to know what's going on. You can set a max character. Yeah, and then let's save this. And so now I'm actually only going to ask this one question. So if you want more questions, you can just add a question and use this to like drag new questions. But for this purpose, I do not need that. So I'm just going to ask one question. And on the results page, so we can just say, thank you for filling out. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. The answer you're given will help us to understand how we can improve the podcast. All right. So this is what people will see after they submit the question. Let's close this. All right. So now we have our one question, we have our result page. Yeah, we can just add this to our confirmation page. So pages, all pages, confirmation page. Let's edit this. I'm going to use a normal page for this one. And then here I can add a quiz element. This is our help podcast. All right. And of course, I also want to make sure that I give them the PDF that they wanted to download. So I'm going to add a button here, and I'm going to give a little bit more explanation above the quiz. Now, what is cool, remember how I, in the very beginning, I set up the lead generation form to send the values to the confirmation page. And this is where I can use these values. So I can actually say something like, hey, Hannah, thank you for subscribing to the newsletter. Your download is right below, but first, would you mind answering this short question for me? And the way that I would do that is in here, I can use the dynamic text and I can request the data from a URL query string, and the variable name would be name. Because that was, remember, the variable that was shown on the lead generation form. And as the default value, imagine that somebody doesn't fill it out, or for some reason it's not working, then I could say hi there. So this would be replaced. So if the URL has the name, it will say hi Hannah. If it doesn't, then it will say hi there. So it will always look good. So yeah, and then, but first, no. Now this button, the way that you link this up with your PDF is you go to your WordPress, you go into your media library, you say add new. And from here, we're gonna select a file, and I have the PDF file here. So you upload the PDF. Then when you click on edit, this will give you a link right here. So we can copy this URL. This is the link that goes directly to the PDF. So on the confirmation page, on this download button, as the target URL, I'm gonna paste this PDF. So you can see that it says well-balanced success tracker.pdf. So this .pdf shows that it actually will open the PDF. So this will be download the tracker here. All right, so this is now our confirmation page. So if somebody comes to this page after they signed up for the email list, it will say, hi Hannah, thank you for joining the newsletter. Your well-balanced success tracker is right below. But please, if you have a second, would you let me know what's the one thing you struggle with most, blah, blah, blah. And then they can submit this. And then here we have the download, the tracker here. I'll probably gonna make this a little bit more obvious so that maybe like put it in 2 columns or something, so that I make sure that people do not, yeah, actually, like I'm actually gonna put this button above the quiz so that you make sure that people don't feel lost when they arrive on this confirmation page. All right, I think that's it, guys. I showed you how to set up your homepage, how to set up the template for your blog post so that it looks good. And we used the SPI podcast as our inspiration. I showed you how to do a contact page, an about page, how to use page blocks, how to set up your confirmation page, how to connect your email forms, how to download a PDF, how to have that question with Thrive Quiz Builder. Yeah, I think that's not bad for one session. I need to put no follow on the PDF. Okay, I can do that if you really want to. But yeah, how are we doing, guys? And girls, of course. Yeah, Brian, my brain is tired too. If they submit, so no, the moment that somebody submits the answer here, so the way Quiz Builder works is it will actually load, let me see, I'm not sure I can do it in, if I'm logged in, but I can try. So here I can say this. And when I submit, you see it says, thank you for sharing your thoughts on this same page. So they are not sent away. It's just all done from the same page. So even if they didn't click the download button before, they will be able to do that after. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for staying with me, for joining us. I had a blast doing this. I hope that you see how with the Thrive Teams tools, you can really set up the website that you want exactly the way you want it. You can have those email opt-ins. You can have this cool the quiz builder and everything. All of this is part of our membership. We also, like, when you're a member, you will notice we send a lot of information. We really try to help you get that online business off the ground. So for anybody who's not a member yet, thriveteams.com/membership. That's where you can find all the tools. It's a ridiculously low price. So I hope you'll join us. And I'm really excited to see the websites that you are making and the businesses that you are building. If anybody wants to see, I actually did a webinar on how to use quizzes. So in Thrive University, you can go, so thriveteams.com/university. If you haven't yet, you can sign up. It's free. And I did a webinar on how to use quizzes how to use quizzes for your website, and the different things that you can do with quizzes, because of course, you can put a quiz as the opt-in. In this case, I just did the normal lead generation form and then the quiz. But yeah, you can really do it the way you want. Yeah, thanks, Colin, for helping answering the questions. Thanks, Balaz, also for being here with us. And don't hesitate. Like, from what I understand, because this was done as a live stream, the chat will stay available. So we will try to answer questions. If not, there will be a in the comments. You can always leave comments, and we try to answer as many of those as possible too. Thank you, John. I'm so happy to hear that. Thanks, Laura. I'm not gonna call out anybody that we don't like, but yeah, I'm very happy to see that you guys like the tools, and yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye bye.